So moving on to the NBA, guys. It's gonna be a longer podcast. Saying NBA, some big trades happened. Actually, one big trade. At the recording of this podcast, Bradley Beal got traded to the Phoenix Suns for Chris Paul and a lot of second round picks and swaps. So he's joining Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton. So what do you think of the trade, and what do you think of the Suns, man? I know we were high on the Suns when they first got KD.
Was I?
I thought we was high on them, no, or maybe someone I was high on. I thought they actually had a really good shot. I was like, man, this is kind of a lot of fire.
Well, I thought I know we thought the West was wide open.
Yeah, so it wasn't like they are locked to. We weren't like going to state high. We were just like, hey, bro, hold on, they might be the favorites. I feel like that's what we were saying when they first got Kevin Durant, because like Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, like
just the sheer firepower of it.
Sheer firepower, yeah.
But the biggest concern was about health and chemistry.
Okay.
Which kind of played out. Denver was a monster. Who I didn't really think they were going to be that dominant in the playoffs, honestly.
True.
So yeah. I mean, honestly, bro, I don't think this does anything. Honestly, I feel like they kind of got worse. Honestly,
really, from Chris Paul.
I do, and not because Chris Paul is better than Bradley Beal. I think he's a better fit. I feel like having a point guard that's not ball dominant, or scoring first mindset is going to help when you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker on your team, especially Ayton too. Like if they keep Ayton, they're going to need somebody's got to distribute the ball. Cause who the point guard?
Cameron Payne. I think they only have 5 people on the roster. Is these 3 you see there on the bottom of the screen? Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, DeAndre Ayton, and then Cameron Payne, I think are the only 5 even on the contract currently. So they're gonna have to fill out the roster with a lot of other vet minimums or rookies and whatnot.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be pretty bad, bro.
But here's what I got a hot take, man. I've been thinking about this, bro. I don't know if it's enough to get them over the hump of like a Denver, or we'll see if they would have matched up with the Lakers or Golden State. But I do think they're actually better. Here's why. When Chris Paul needed him the most, he was hurt. So if I look at how they played in the playoffs, and basically you just add Devin Booker essentially, because Shamet wasn't doing nothing either, that's a better team. Not Devin Booker. You add Bradley Beal essentially. So to me, it's like Bradley Beal is coming in for a hurt Chris Paul when they need him the most. Chris Paul has been hurt a lot in the playoffs on the later stretch of the season. So my thing is, I'm thinking different from that sense. Like they still took 2 games off Denver with KD and Booker going crazy. So my thing is, I think they're better. I don't know if it's enough to get them over that hump, but now you have another person that can score points, because it was like Booker and KD scoring everything. Now you have 3 people that can possibly get you a lot of 10. So I think they're better. I don't know how much better. Is it like?
But they're gonna have to stagger their minutes. Crazy, man.
Stagger their minutes.
Bradley Beal gonna pretty much be the 6th man.
Yeah, I like Ayton too, man. A lot of people low on Ayton. I think Ayton got some game too, man. Yeah, you ain't a fan of Ayton, huh? He got game though, bro. I feel like he don't get enough looks. The heart.
He's soft in here, bro. You know how I feel about players soft inside.
That's fair. I do agree with that.
He don't got no toughness, man. He don't got no his motor's low. He has skill. I mean, he's talented, but I just don't like. I don't think. There's nothing. There's very few things that bother me more than either unskilled big man or like non-motor big man. Like
that's probably worse than the unskilled, because at least the unskilled, like he's doing all he can, because it's like about effort. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like when what's the name came in the league? Dwight Howard came in the league. I always was down on Dwight Howard because he wasn't very skilled. Like his footwork was terrible. His touch was bad. He was just a big, awkward dude that was just athletic, and because of that, he was blocking shots and dunking on people.
But Dwight's still a really, really good player, though. I mean,
no, but Dwight, his motor was high. You know what I'm saying? At least he was going after defensive rebounds, boards, putbacks, trying to dunk on people. Like I would take that any day over Anthony Davis, who will show up sometimes and not.
It's a good point to be made. I thought if you would have said Ayton, sure. If I'm like AD now,
it's only Ayton, absolutely Ayton. But I guess what I'm saying is like, I feel like it's kind of disrespectful. It's kind of disrespectful to put Ayton in the same category as Dwight Howard.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just kind of disrespectful to Dwight Howard. But I just couldn't think of another big man off the rip. But you know what I'm saying? Like Andrew Bynum, whoever, Hassan Whiteside, like he had a couple great seasons, but dude just did not want to play half nights, and I can't stand that. So
So here's the thing,
I,
though. Like I said, they took 2 games off Denver. They're the team that beat them the most games, though. Phoenix last year. You don't think they could try to build on this with this trade? You don't think that like
I don't think the fit is
that's
going
fair?
to
That's
be
fair.
a net positive.
That's fair.
Like defensively, they're gonna have struggles.
That's fair.
Uh,
Absolutely, 100%.
like sharing the ball, the spacing, like they're gonna have to figure that out, bro. Like literally, Kevin Durant was, with the exception of the fact that Kevin Durant is 7 foot tall, they are all the same type of player. They're the same type of scorer. They score from the same positions. They need the ball. They break down the defender. None of these guys are like truly spot up shooters. Kevin Durant can do that a little bit. Devin Booker a little
So
bit,
not
but
not necessarily proficient from the three per se. They kind of like in the mid range more so. Yeah.
yeah, they're mid range. They
Yeah.
need off the dribble, break down the defender, pull up, step back. They're all kind of really the same player, and it's like I don't necessarily know. I put it like this. I'll take me on this bet, bro.
Okay.
The Wizards, if they keep Chris Paul, because I don't know if they actually will,
Okay.
they will have uh ascended. They will have a better net positive from last season to this season with Chris Paul on their team than Bradley Beal will add to the Phoenix Suns. If you see what I'm saying, like
I see what you're saying.
if you take their games won or like the position where they end in the season, like I guarantee you, having Chris Paul on that roster with what's his name, Porzingis out there, right? Kyle Kuzma.
Well, Kuzma, I think just went to free agency. He just I don't exactly know who on the Wizards.
It
I
don't,
know
it don't,
Rui
it don't, it
went to the
almost,
Lakers. Rui went to the Lakers.
it almost don't really matter, bro. I'm telling you, like Chris Paul on that team because of who he is and how he plays ball. I listened to him on a podcast the other day with on the Pivot. Talking about his mentality. Remember when he went to OKC
Yeah,
and them
that's fair.
boys,
No, I don't think that's
you know
fair.
what I'm saying? Like I think it's very very underrated. Like how much value that Chris Paul brings to the court when you're talking about all these different offensive talents. I think
I could agree with that. I could agree with
I
that. I
don't
think
think it's going to be a net positive. And they got a new coach. Was it Frank Vogel?
Frank Vogel, so that should help with the defense.
Mm,
But I think also it's tough because I can't remember Phoenix's exact position. I don't know if they were 3 or 4. I can't remember where they finished in the West. They were a higher seed, and they also made it to the second round. So I feel like if they get in the second round this year, that's probably fair. So they might kind of still end up in the same spot, a second round exit or something potentially.
that's what
You
I'm
know what I
saying.
mean?
Like I don't
Yeah.
see them. I mean, other we don't know where Kyrie's going. We don't know where Dame is going, if Dame is going anywhere.
You're talking about Harden might be on the move too.
Harden might be on the move.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot we got to keep
I
our
mean,
eye on, man.
draft day coming up on Thursday. Usually, NBA season over, and usually it's like ain't nothing going on. But I mean, with this draft,
Talk about it. Talk about that. Yeah.
with this draft coming up, man, there's a lot of things to be done, man. I think the next thing that we was talking about, Zion Williamson, they were talking about he is potentially on the trade block. The Pelicans had reported that they are actively and aggressively looking to move up in the draft to top 3, the 1, 2, or 3. And we know the Spurs, come on. They're not.
They're gonna take Wemby for sure.
They're going to take Wemby over anybody. You can't. There's no one you could give them right now.
Listen, Bill Simmons podcast, he does a little interesting thing where he does like the top draft prospect or top trade value. He does a trade value ranking, right?
Right.
And I remember I listened to it a few weeks ago, and he said something like this. He was basically saying like, I think he had Wemby like 4th or 5th or something like that in the league. He was like basically like only people who wouldn't trade for Wemby would be maybe Giannis,
Luka,
Jokic, Luka, Steph, and maybe that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like even LeBron now at his stage, you're like, hey man, we'll trade you LeBron James for that number 1 pick. Lakers are gonna be like, yeah, possibly Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Like so he does. It's an interesting concept.
Get Embiid out of there
for Wemby. Yeah, so I'm saying you might be like, hey man, the process ran its course. So yeah, you're not gonna Spurs are gonna trade. They're not.
No, they're not moving. But
would you trade to get into that 2 slot with Charlotte to get Scoot, man? I think we were talking about this before. You were saying
the better question is this, right?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is finalizing the sale of the Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
The Hornets have the number 2 pick. Scoot Henderson looks like a great. I mean, like in any other draft, they were saying like he's easily number 1. And we know what happens when situations like that. We've seen this before. Very recently, Ja Morant,
Okay.
Zion Williamson, right?
Okay.
Hindsight 2020. If you had to redraft that, you picking Ja first or you picking Zion first?
With everything going on with Zion now, I'm still taking
And
Zion.
injuries and all that. You see what I'm saying?
Off the field with Zion, with Ja, though, that's what I'm saying. With Ja, everything going on with Ja now, it's kind of, you had an argument. But to me, the talent from Zion is too crazy, man. I know for me,
But,
you might remember.
but what good is it? He ain't gonna be there. There's a lot of talented players that's not able to
You
play.
compare him to Ja, though. Ja ain't there either, and he gone for 25 games next season. So,
But he's able to play. Like he's still 23, 22, bro. Even if he sat down for 2 seasons. Look at Jamal Murray, young boy, young legs. You
yeah,
sat down for 2 seasons, come back hooping. John
yeah.
Morant could literally got suspended for all next season and still would probably be a better, safer pick and upside than Zion
I don't
Williamson.
know, because here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I heard this stat recently, man. So to me, being a Duke fan, even though it's kind of less in last few years, but yeah, what you took ahead of Duke? Huh?
I forgot about that, bro.
Yeah, so yeah, look, it's a validation. Here's the thing. I was watching Zion when he was at Duke, son, and I remember I told a friend about this. I have never been more sold on a college player coming out of the draft as it was on Zion. Because I was watching him closely.
Oh no, I mean Zion's crazy, bro.
But as I'm saying, I was so high on him because I remember I made a bet with a friend. I gave like numbers for his rookie year. I was like, all right, I think he'll average at least 18. He's probably gonna shoot at least 53%. He don't get this many rebounds. So I was like looking at this guy in Duke, especially against some really good competition. Even in the tournament, I was like, oh man, this guy just around the rim, even against bigger guys. So my thing is, they showed a stat that Zion's the only person to average over 15 points a game, I think in NBA history, to shoot over 60% for a season, 60% from the field. And he was at 26 last game, 26 points a game. So to me, the efficiency is crazy, man. The efficiency is crazy. So I would just say that I couldn't see myself moving on from Zion. You see what I'm saying? I couldn't, not for Scoot, because also looking up Scoot, I know a lot of people have said that he was a really high value. But then I looked it up too much. I didn't watch too much of Scoot, but he is only 6'2". He looked more buff than that, though. He undersized. That's what I'm seeing, bro. 6'2". Look it up. I just saw 6'2", bro. 6'2", and he's not a elite shooter. He looked like 6'7", 6'8", like because he's super yoked up.
No.
Bro, let me look it up just to make sure. I thought I saw 6'2", bro. That's to me, that's enough to know it's a no for me.
But that's what I'm saying. That like think about it though. Ja Morant is about 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, but to me also, there's so many great guards in the league that Ja is also, he's not like a top 5 guard in the league, though. He's a great young player, but Zion to me also at his peak is better than Ja. So to me, Scoot, I just looked up again. He is only 6'2".
But this is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. The question is not about talent.
Okay.
It's not a question of talent. Zion is probably top 5 talent in the league.
Sure.
If not, maybe a little higher. Might be top 3, right? And if you're talking about just purely ability,
especially like physical ability for Zion, yeah.
Physical ability. I mean, he got a touch too. Like we talked about like
Jokic's touch. For sure.
His touch around the rim is top tier. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he the way he can finish the contact. Zion's special talent. That's not the question. That's not as a GM, as an owner. Like, bro, the dude has played like an average of like 20 games a season, bro.
It's not great. Yeah, if you look at everything overall.
And he's not no smaller. And he's not no younger.
Year, though. He did lose some weight this year. He was definitely smarter than he was before, but he got hurt again still. You know what I'm saying? So
you know what I'm saying? He get hurt a little bit in college. He gets hurt like bro, the dude's body is literally not built to do the things he's doing. And as an organization, the question is, I mean, think about it. The Pelicans are solid
team. Yeah, sure. Solid.
We got Brandon Ingram, young talent.
Jose Alvarado.
They got Alvarado, CJ McCollum. They got the big young dude, the big. I mean, they got a decent squad, bro. You throw a dynamic, strong guard in there with a lot of upside, might do better for your roster than
maybe. But
who's the number 3 pick in the draft? Who did the projected number 3 pick in the draft?
Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller, they're saying.
Saying he good, but I ain't really.
That's my bro. Here's the thing. Some of this basketball stuff come down to So much people hate the numbers, bro. Scoot at 6'2", and I looked at also because sometimes 3-point shooting is not always a great thing to look. I mean, it is 3-point shooting is key, but even his free throw shooting, to me, he's just too undersized, man. To me, even like Ja, if you say he's a Ja Morant, where you got Ja in the league right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, he probably might be in like that 10 to 15th best player range. You know what I mean? Which to me, and a lot of the guys around him, he's not as good as Tatum or Luka. I don't think he's as good as Zion. Who else is young players in the league? I'm trying to think. Giannis is still, what's Giannis, 27? I mean, to me, Ja, it's like you got to have something. Zion has that talent, I think, to be a number one on a team and get you to win. If you're trying to win a championship, I don't know if these other guys per se
I understand that,
can do
bro, but
that.
that's what I'm saying. You got to think about it. All the off court drama, can't
Mhm.
stay in shape. He could not be in the league in a couple years, bro.
I want something more proven, though. I'd even rather go to like something more proven than it's more of a gamble with the picks. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather see a guy after a couple years. So I personally wouldn't make the trade for Zion. But you saying you would make the trade if you Charlotte. That's
Yeah,
another thing.
that's the other question. That's the other
So if you
question.
think Charlotte can make it, bring in Zion with LaMelo, because then if not, you're gonna have two guards like Scoot plus LaMelo or something, which may not be the best
They
fit.
got Scoot Henry at 6'3".
Short, bro. Short, bro. LaMelo 6'7", man. Even Zion like 6'6", 6'7". So that's short, bro. That's what I'm saying. He looked yoked up, but 6'3", and his free throw percentage in the G League was like 76%.
Yeah,
3-point shooter was under. It was not good either. I'm not sold, man. I'm not sold. Just off that alone, I ain't watched a single game, but
right.
guys,
Just off his numbers.
just the
Uh,
numbers, it ain't adding up, bro. It ain't adding
I
up,
mean,
bro.
listen. What I'm saying, if I'm the Hornets,
Uh-huh.
I'm doing that deal in a second. They don't call me. I'm. Hey,
But
so
see, that's to your point, though. So even the Hornets, you value in Zion. Like, hold on, if we can Zion
well,
plus
I mean, that's what I'm
LaMelo,
saying. You also the Hornets. You're a new owner.
yeah,
You pair him with LaMelo.
I think that could be nice. That could be nice. Two young
That's
guys.
bro, forget nice, but that's that. I mean, that's legit. I'm probably a little biased. I live in Charlotte, so you know what I'm saying. It'll be lit, bro. Yeah, Zion, bro. City
I,
on swole, bro.
I'm
If
at
for
the some games, yeah, man.
everybody gonna be trying to get them tickets because they like he only gonna play 25 games. You gotta go see him. It's gonna be like football season. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
ain't got 15 games with Zion. You might as well go ahead and see him while you can.
Yeah. Also, too, here's the only thing with Zion, too, man. I feel like I don't know. I think his highlights and it's the only other concern that he still has proven to be effective. But to me, some of the high flying stuff, I don't feel like I've seen in the league as much as I saw it like it even in college. Like some of the high flying joints, you know what
Oh,
I
they
mean?
probably told him not to, bro. I mean, everybody in the league tells you not to. They always talking about that with John Moran. They talking about that John right now. They're like, oh, they need Derrick Rose to go ahead and tell him to stop jumping like that.
Yeah. So the thing, I'm just talking about the box stuff. He's still extremely effective and a great player, even without it. But I do remember him also being a little more electric with the high jumping. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like,
Bro, look at. I mean, it ain't gonna last forever, bro. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. That's why the New Orleans got to actually look at this. Like, hey,
okay.
especially if they get a little bit more value. I mean, they got the number 14 pick.
Mhm.
If they can get the number 2 pick and then a 14 pick for Zion by himself, and he kind of like in an iffy spot. You don't even know if he's gonna play next season. Like, that's not the craziest thing, bro.
I can see it, but you kind of agreeing with me though. If you saying here's the thing, you saying if you Charlotte, you make the move because you think Zion's like that, and I'm saying if I'm New Orleans, I ain't making the move because I know what I got in Zion. You know what I'm saying? Like
I guess what I'm saying is it's all of everything in any deal is there's always winner and loser, but it's always about like it's preference, it's
for
perspective.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? Charlotte is coming from the Pelicans was like before Zion got hurt, they were like the number 1, number 2 seed in the
They
West.
was up there, I think number 3 seed officially, and they dropped out of the playoffs into the play-in. So yeah,
Right. That's what I'm saying. So like and they've been trying, like actively trying to get Zion
see,
to a place
here's what I'm saying too, right? With the Pelicans, I remember years ago people were saying like when the Lakers made the trade for Brandon Ingram, like, oh look how Brandon Ingram doing. Brandon Ingram is not going to move you over that hump. I think Brandon Ingram was also number 2 pick in the draft. If Scoot turns into that, I'll take Zion for 20 games a season over that personally, for real, for real.
you crazy, bro.
Bro, Brandon Ingram is not moving the needle. He's not that good of a player like that. That's what I'm saying. But he's not moving the needle nowhere, son. He's not moving the needle.
But he is, bro. He not. He don't. No, that's a little disrespectful, bro. Brandon Ingram. I mean, he's a little bit more than solid, bro. He's an all-star caliber player, bro.
Ish. I mean, he made it once. I don't know if he'll make it again. I'm being honest with you, bro. Like I said, he probably like the 35th best player
I
in the
mean,
league.
he probably not going. It's going to be hard for him now because now you got Bradley Beal over there, you got Devin Booker, you got Kevin Durant, you still got Steph. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be hard for him to make a play, but he's a player. He's an all-star caliber talent. Like his numbers are solid. Like he was hurt this year too, but when he
Yeah.
plays, he hoop. He
He's
can hoop.
solid though, bro. I'm saying you run a swing and a miss though. I feel like Scoop could just end up being that where you got Zion is like okay, all NBA caliber. You know what I'm saying? Like he is a top 15, top 10 player in the league. You know what I mean?
What I'm saying is yes. If you're asking me the question, if I'm
all right, 20 games is low, not 20, but 50
if I'm the Pelicans, I'm not trading them. Okay. I would.
And if you Charlotte, you're trying to trade them. You're trying to get them.
Absolutely.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
But that's not you. That's what I'm saying. You're talking from a perspective of somebody who hasn't experienced it. You ever seen it? I mean, they say all the time, one man trash, no man treasure.
Facts.
Why is it trash? The only reason it's trash is because people do all the time. You ever heard somebody be like, listen, man, I got this car. I've had it for 5 years. It's giving me a whole bunch of problems.
Facts.
And they're like, well, what's wrong with it now? Hey, listen, bro. The AC compressor went out. I ain't putting no more money into it. $500 is enough. I will buy a whole new car and pay $500 a month for my car payment before I put $500 into this car to get me to point A to point B. It's the same thing can be said, bro.
I get you.
The organization could be tired with Zion. Like it's stressful. Then you all this news come out. He got baby mama dramas. Like you trying to gauge where his head is at. He need to get his body right. He need to get on the court to play, and you don't even know if that's possible. Or you can go pick up somebody in the draft that you feel like could have some upside. I don't know. I mean, and you got to understand these NBA teams have the long game and the short game. They talking about ticket sales. They talking about values. They talking about projections. The owner could be trying to sell a team. You have no idea like the nuance in which makes sense for them to do this type of move. And so that's all I'm saying. The report, they put the report out there. Somebody somebody thought about it.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what ends up happening on draft night, what trades happen, where James Harden goes, where Chris Paul goes, because even they're talking about Chris Paul might get waived as well. So I'm excited to see what happens for the seasons. Dame Lillard.
They talking about what is Portland going to do with the trade? Because I think Portland number 3, right?
Portland's number 3. They're saying they could trade it for a player, or they're going to draft somebody and rebuild. It just depends, man. It just depends. So, man. So it's excited to see, man.
It's going to be an interesting week, man. I'm going to be tuned into the draft. Yeah. I'm not even for the draft. I'm going to be tuned in the draft to see what kind of trades happen, honestly.
True. No, I'm excited to see just in 2 days. So we'll recap it next week, man. We'll recap it next week.
For sure.